So what I want to talk about now as we transition is how to get hired in a Fortune 500 company, right? That's why all of you guys are watching this in the first place. And it really starts with the perfect resume. So we're going to go through the 3 key traits that you need for a perfect resume. So go ahead and take a look at this document that I have here. This is what I call the perfect resume. And this is comprised of 3 key points. 1 is the layout, 2 is the results aspect of the resume, and 3 is the limitation of the tech talk. So now what I want to do is go through the 3 different traits and explain each one in a little more detail. So as we're looking at this example, we're going to talk a little bit about layout. What you want to see here is consistency and very clean layout, which means the margins are all exactly the same on all 4 sides of the document. The bullet points have the right spacing and it's consistent throughout. The font I use is the same size. It's repeated in the same way. Everything is really the same from paragraph to paragraph or area section to area section, including spacing and things of that regard. This is so important because the layout of your resume says more about you as a person than anything else could ever to a recruiter. If it's unorganized or sloppy or inconsistent, then my first impression as a recruiter is you're unorganized, you're sloppy, you're not consistent with your work. This is so critical. It's the first thing that they're going to look for when they open your resume. So before they can even look at your content, that resume is going to go in the garbage if the layout is not pleasing to them and easy to read and to navigate. The central alignment that you see on the areas here for experience, skills, volunteer, education, it really helps to focus where I want to concentrate my time. Since the average HR candidate only spends about 7 to 10 seconds reading a resume. So I want to be able to go to where I need to see if they're worth doing a first round interview for. The central alignment helps me figure out exactly what the areas of the resume are. So if I need to go to education first, boom, I can see where it's at because it's set off different from the alignment of everything else, right? If I need to know their skills, boom, I can see right where it's at because it's set off different than everything else, right? So that's kind of some of the key points of the layout. So results here is really determined by 3 different categories. So you've got an okay statement or bullet point on the resume. You've got a good statement or bullet point, and then you've got an excellent bullet point or statement. A lot of mistakes that students make, they tend to have their bullet points sound a lot like job descriptions. Oh, I was responsible for this. I did this. I assisted someone with doing this. And it really just sounds exactly like I'm reading a job description, right? So that tends to be one of the main issues when it comes to how the bullet points are formatted. Instead, it should really talk more about results, focus on the results, and focus on the actions of how they were able to achieve that result. That's the basis for almost every bullet point. However, there are going to be instances where you can't make every bullet point have an action or have a result. That's okay. But how you rank those bullet points for each section, the results-oriented one should be at the top. Okay. So let's go through a couple examples. The first example, performed financial due diligence and filed documents in a timely manner, ensuring accuracy, is the first example. The second example, filed documents, performed due diligence, reconciled accounts, and spoke with clients. The third example, executed over 200 account reconciliations in order to ensure financial accuracy, using Excel to streamline processing time for audit team during due diligence. Now, which one of those do you think is the most impressive sounding? I would assume that you would say option 3. That would be your excellent choice. That is one that targets a result, tells me how they did it, has a numerical value to it, so it's quantified, and it really makes me feel like this person's going to add value to my team if I were to hire them. Now we have the first and the second option. The first option would be what you would consider a good one, because it kind of talks a little bit about what they did. It talks about a little bit of a result, like they did it in a timely manner, they ensured accuracy, but there's really no way for me to know if that's true or, like how well they ensured accuracy or how timely it actually was, right? And then the second one was our okay answer. That's the one that I tend to see when I'm looking at students' resumes, where they're kind of just like telling me what they did and there's not really anything else to it. The reason why it's so important to have results is because it's the only thing that differentiates you between all the other competitors. Everybody can file documents, perform due diligence, and reconcile accounts. But not everyone can do 200 of it. Not everyone can streamline processing time, and not everyone can ensure financial accuracy. So all of those things set you apart when you phrase your bullet points in this way. But you want to make sure that you're just not repeating those same kinds of catchphrases over and over again, or else it kind of just defeats the whole purpose. You have to be creative with your resume. Let's move on to the third component, and so take a look at this next document in front of you, where we talk a little bit about tech talk. Now, for all my STEM students, for the most part, this is going to be largely showcased towards you. So with tech students, I get a lot of resumes that make me feel like I'm in class. As an HR person, I don't have a background in mathematics. I don't have a background in computer science. I don't have a background in engineering. What this means is I don't know what a lot of these things are, but I know simple things, right? So I might know like what Python is, kind of what you use it for, but I might not know what all the packages for Python are, etc., right? So when it's too technical, it really hurts because I don't know what you did. So I'm just thinking, two things. I'm thinking this person would not know how to talk to people that weren't in the same discipline as them. That's the first thing I'm thinking, which means they wouldn't be great working with other people in different departments. The second thing is, I think to myself, maybe they don't really know what they did. Maybe they're just doing whatever it is that they're doing, and they're not even thinking about what kind of impact it has on business. So for me, that's a disadvantage because it makes me think that you have no business acumen. Okay? So let's take a look at 2 examples. So the first example, we have developed applications in Python to use machine learning algorithms to predict movement patterns of C. elegans on video data sets, 10,000K plus instances for each, with the best testing accuracy of 93.76%. Like what? I don't even know what they're talking about. When I see resumes like this, I'm just like, pass, because I know that there's people out there that can communicate this in a better way. So let's take a look at a different example for the same structure of sentences. Increased behavior identification accuracy to 93.76% through application of machine learning algorithm random forest, enabling forecasting based off of historical imagery. That tells me a lot more. Awesome. They increased the accuracy of something. Great. That's the first thing I see that makes me want to read more. How do they do it? Using basic terms I'll know. Machine learning, algorithm, random forest is a pretty, simple algorithm that you can talk about that most HR people have heard of before. And then enabling forecasting. Oh my God, that's great. Like you can forecast results so that we can know what to expect in the future. That's a business acumen term. So those are the differences that I'm looking for when it comes to tech talk for some of these STEM students.